Hello, everyone. It's Dr. T. I'm a tech trainer and career coach, and I help professionals transition to tech by leveraging their existing skills and abilities. This video focuses on your role as a Scrum Master and making certain that your team is ready to begin work. As a Scrum Master, you are responsible for facilitating sprint planning. And in sprint planning, you're working with the team to make certain that the user stories are in the correct format, that they've been sized, that there's a description of the work that needs to take place, and that the work item has been prioritized. But one key element that you also need to focus on is, does the work item, meaning the user story, have a definition of ready included? Now, the definition of ready is really linked to the dependencies that need to be in place, that have been identified for that particular user story, and making certain that that user story is in an actionable state, meaning that there may be a precursor set of actions or data elements that need to be in place before you start to work on that particular user story. So, key elements and key factors that are important to the definition of ready is there a clear understanding of the scope? Because if the scope is clear, then the team will be able to understand what needs to be done prior to pulling that particular work item into the sprint to begin work on it. Also, the acceptance criteria may give some leanings toward those precursor sets of activities as well. So, has the acceptance criteria been defined by the team? Has the story been prioritized? Because great to have it ready for work, but you want to make sure that those high priority items are in the ready to work and in an actionable state first. And then, as we talked about, the dependencies confirmed and scheduled. So, if there's access to a system that's needed, has that been communicated to the system owner, and are they aware of when that access to the system is needed? So, have all the dependencies been agreed upon, and have they been scheduled? And then back to the acceptance criteria, has that been validated with the product owner, and has it been approved? And then, has the story in and of itself been approved by the product owner? Now, I have a simplistic example of the definition of ready. So let's say we were going to bake someone a birthday cake, and we were going to do so in a rented commercial kitchen. So that's the scope of the story. Well, there are some things that need to be in place and validated before you begin to bake the cake. So if we take this scenario, the first thing we want to do is review the recipe. Which type of cake are we going to bake, and are we clear on the steps involved in using the recipe? You also want to think about the ingredients. You may have some of the ingredients on hand, and then you may need to buy some ingredients. So that's an action that might need to take place as you begin to prepare to bake the cake and become ready to bake the cake. Have you tested the mixer? Once you combine the ingredients that you've either had on hand or bought, you need to test the mixer so that when you combine those ingredients, you're ready to mix and get the batter ready for baking. And then you need to prepare the baking pan. Depending on the type of cake and the recipe, you may need to grease the pan, or you may need to flour the pan, but the recipe will give you that guidance. And then, have you tested a timer? If the cake is supposed to be baked for 30 minutes and you're using a timer to match that and to track that, is the timer working? And then lastly, on our list of precursor steps to do to bake this birthday cake is, have you tested the oven? Do you know how it functions? And do you know if it has a built-in timer? Do you know how to set that? So these are the actions that will need to take place before you are ready to pull that action item to bake the cake, because maybe this cake piece is a part of the whole birthday party planning and birthday party actual delivery. So you're baking this cake, you're going to go through these steps in preparation and to get ready to bake the cake. So I hope this scenario was clear and helped you get to thinking about how to help the team get their stories ready and include a definition ready in each story so that only the actionable items make it into the sprint backlog and only the actionable items are pulled, meaning everything is done, the dependencies are met, and now the story is ready. If you have any other questions, leave them below, and I have several other videos around your role as a Scrum Master, facilitating meetings, and helping the team to function effectively and as a cohesive, collaborative group. Thanks.